So this is the document that we did receive. You see it there, that the motion was denied, and that in terms of Johnson, she will be back in court February 3rd of 2026. This is not a situation where I'm taking sides here. I don't know anybody here. The only people that I feel any type of like absolute like pouring of my heart out for is obviously anybody in this situation who's lost. That's all sides, right? And especially the children in this. This is who I feel the worst for. So while people are online arguing, trying to call for my job and all this stuff, who you need to be pouring your love and heart out to are the children that are literally at a deficit because of this.
So, Holly, I have been talking to a few of your supporters, and they are very concerned about you. Is there anything that you want me to tell your supporters?
Yeah, you could tell them I said thank you for the support. Thank you for the prayers. Just continue to keep me in their prayers. And I'm just focused on getting home to my son. I do miss my son a lot. And, yeah, just continue to pray for me and my family.
Okay, I will let them know.
Since September 8th, when Romica Meeks was murdered in broad daylight, the story has never stopped evolving. The gunshots were just the beginning. What has followed is a relentless legal tug-of-war, a barrage of social media battles, and a defense team that refuses to take no for an answer. Holly Johnson sits in jail, facing first-degree murder charges, but her attorney, Ari Williams, has mounted an offensive that feels less like a standard defense and more like a siege on the court itself. They've been denied bond 3 separate times, on December 23rd, January 7th, and January 8th, with a judge stating unequivocally that Holly poses a danger to the community. Yet, instead of retreating to prepare for trial, they've launched their most aggressive maneuver yet. This isn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. This is a masterclass in legal persistence. The question is, are they fighting for justice or simply fighting to win at any cost? Before we break down this latest high-stakes move, if you're fascinated by the legal strategies that play out behind the headlines, make sure you're part of our community. Subscribe to True Crime Unraveled on YouTube and hit the bell so you don't miss a single development. We read every single comment you leave. Keep them coming. To understand why this latest move is so significant, you have to appreciate the wall the defense has been hitting. At every bond hearing, attorney Ari Williams has brought her A-game. She has argued Holly is a pregnant, first-time offender. She has leaned heavily into the claim of self-defense, painting Holly as a scared mother trapped in a chaotic situation created by Carlos Smith and Romica Meeks. But Judge Michael Clancy has been unmoved. His refusals weren't mere formalities. They were detailed rejections of the defense's core narrative.
Today, similar to what I brought forth yesterday about the attorney on behalf of Holly, Quadeja Holly Johnson, saying that, she takes issue in terms of their case. They take issue with the 911 recordings, and also surveillance video matching what the star witness is claiming that they saw. There's mention of obstruction in several points of view of the surveillance video of the star witness, questioning if that person actually would have been able to see what they claimed they saw, because in the video, surveillance video, allegedly, I have not seen it, this person is behind a wall as they're calling 911. So how are you seeing what you claim you're seeing if you're behind a wall? In addition to that, you also had on noise canceling headphones. That is what has come up, okay? Just to give you the basis of what's come up in the case, what we know to factually have come up. Now, I have not seen this video. I have not heard these 911 calls personally, so I cannot validate what is said, what is seen in those. Only merely that this is what the attorney is arguing, and that is her absolute right. If I'm a attorney fighting for my client, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find every hole in the state's case possible to bring to light to make sure my client is freed, and that's an attorney's job. With that being said, so the motion was denied for that to happen, for Johnson to be on electronic monitoring or home confinement. This is that document that we received. Hold on, let me clean this lens. It looks Sorry about that. So this is the document that we did receive. You see it there, that the motion was denied, and that in terms of Johnson, she will be back in court February 3rd of 2026. So that is the next court appearance. And
he has looked at the evidence. The witness accounts of a fist bump or gesture of solidarity after the shooting, Holly's calm retrieval of the firearm, the multiple shots fired, and seen not a panicked victim, but a conscious actor. He stated the evidence suggested a consciousness of guilt, not fear. Most damningly, he found the state had met its burden in proving Holly a real and present threat to the safety of the community. In his view, no conditions of release, not ankle monitoring, not house arrest, could mitigate that risk. This wasn't just a setback. It was a judicial declaration that the state's version of events, of an intentional killing, had serious merit. The defense's story wasn't holding up in the preliminary arena. And in a telling exchange we covered previously, the judge even challenged the defense's foundational facts. When Attorney Williams tried to build a timeline, the judge pointed out the witness she relied on had admitted his own timeline was 35 minutes off. The judge told her, "I'm not saying you're misrepresenting, but these videos, while giving a date, the time may or may not be close or accurate." It was a quiet but powerful signal. The court found the defense's alternative theories unsteady, built on shaky ground. With the trial court door firmly shut, the defense didn't pack up. They kicked down a new door. On January 8th, immediately after the latest denial, they filed a notice of appeal under Illinois Supreme Court Rule 604H. This is a critical pivot, and it's surrounded by a fog of public misunderstanding that we need to clear up. First, let's analyze what this document is not. This is not an appeal of the murder charges. It has nothing to do with guilt or innocence. This is a hyper-specific, fast-tracked appeal focused on one question only. Did Judge Clancy make a legal error in denying pretrial release? Under Illinois' Pretrial Fairness Act, the defense is arguing to the appellate court that the state did not prove by clear and convincing evidence that Holly is a danger who cannot be managed under strict conditions like home confinement and GPS monitoring. They are claiming the judge abused his discretion. But here's the reality check based on legal trends in Illinois. Appellate courts are extremely reluctant to second-guess a trial judge on detention in violent felony cases, especially first-degree murder involving a firearm. The trial judge heard the evidence firsthand, saw the witnesses, and made a call. The appellate court reviews a paper record. In most 604H appeals, the decision is affirmed. The defendant stays in jail. So, why file it? The strategy is multi-layered. 1. It's the last procedural Hail Mary for pretrial freedom. 2. It runs out the clock. And this is where we must address the giant Speedy trial myth circulating online. There's a pervasive belief that the state has 120 days to try Holly, or she walks free. That's only half the story. In Illinois, the Speedy trial clock stops whenever the defense causes a delay. Filing motions? Clock stops. Requesting more time to review evidence? Clock stops. And yes, filing this very appeal under Rule 604H stops the clock. This appeal isn't a magic bullet for freedom. In many ways, it's a delay tactic. It keeps Holly's case in a holding pattern while her team prepares. It also serves a broader strategic purpose. It preserves the issue for a potential future federal appeal, arguing her due process rights were violated. It's a long-game move, showing the defense is preparing for every possible outcome, including a conviction. While the legal battle plays out in sterile court documents, a far messier war is raging on the ground. There is a growing and deeply concerning pattern of witness intimidation. Individuals who were present that morning, who spoke to police, are now reportedly fearful. They've received threatening messages, subtle and not-so-subtle warnings about the cost of testifying. This intimidation doesn't stop with witnesses. It has extended to those covering the case. Veteran reporter Tia Ewing of Fox 32 has faced harassment for her balanced reporting. And perhaps most tellingly, Nina Johnson, a paralegal and advocate for Romica's family who provides detailed legal breakdowns online, has been targeted. Her business has been attacked with fraudulent reviews and smear campaigns online. This isn't random. It's a calculated effort to silence voices, to muddy the waters, and to create a chilling effect that makes pursuing this case professionally and personally perilous. This environment casts a long shadow over the proceedings. If witnesses are too scared to testify, the state's case weakens. If public advocates are bullied into silence, the story becomes one-sided. It creates a scenario where the fight isn't just in the courtroom, but in the very community where the crime occurred, aiming to influence the outcome through fear. Amidst the legal jargon and the intimidation tactics, it's easy to forget the human beings at the center. A recent phone call from Cook County Jail, posted by a supporter, offered a fleeting, raw glimpse into Holly Johnson's current reality. The supporter asked if there was a message for her followers. Holly's response was brief and heavy. "Just pray for me and my family and my son. I miss my son so much."
So, Holly, I have been talking to a few of your supporters, and they are very concerned about you. Is there anything that you want me to tell your supporters?
Yeah, you could tell them I said thank you for the support. Thank you for the prayers. Just continue to keep me in their prayers. And I'm just focused on getting home to my son. I do miss my son a lot. And, yeah, just continue to pray for me and my family.
Okay, I will let them know.
Yeah, just continue to pray for me and my family. It's a moment devoid of legal strategy or public posturing. It's the voice of a woman separated from her child, facing the possibility of never raising him. Regardless of one's view of her guilt, it's a stark reminder of the profound human wreckage this case has left on all sides, for Romica's son who lost his mother, and for Holly's son who may lose his mother to the Department of Corrections. The law deals in facts and verdicts, but it operates within a tapestry of irrevocable personal loss. So, where does this leave us? We have a defense team employing every tool in the legal shed, from bond hearings to a fast-track appeal, all while a shadow campaign of intimidation attempts to shape the landscape outside the courthouse. The Rule 604H appeal is a bold move, but legally, it's an uphill battle against established precedent. Its greatest impact may be the delay it secures. The real question for viewers is this: in a case already overflowing with drama, does this relentless focus on pretrial release signal a deep confidence in the defense's trial strategy, or is it a desperate scramble because they know the evidence at trial will be formidable? Is the fight for bond a fight for justice, or simply a fight? We want to hear what you think. Does this appeal change your perception of the case? Do the tactics outside the courtroom influence your view of the pursuit of justice inside it? The comment section is for you. We read and appreciate every single perspective. If this deep dive into the legal trenches and the behind-the-scenes pressures of a high-profile murder case captivated you, please show your support. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to True Crime Unraveled on YouTube, and follow True Crime Unraveled TV on Facebook and TikTok. Your engagement is what allows us to keep unraveling these complex stories. Thank you for watching. We see your comments. We value this community. For Romica, for the truth, and for a justice system that must operate without fear or favor. We'll see you in the next update.